The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. What a treat yesterday was.
Oh, it was.
Can I just say, can we just redo that day over and over again?
I wish we could. And the Arvin Police Department may join the ranks of other departments in Kern County, outfitting its officers with body-worn cameras. Chief Eddie Brock went before the City Council last night to push for body cameras for his 15 patrol officers and supervisors. The cost, $325,000. Payable over 5 years. Chief Brock says it is an important investment in transparency for the city and the department.
For the city of Arvin to do this, or any organization to do it, it would be a major step in the area of bridging the gap from the general public's view of law enforcement and then what law enforcement actually does. This problem is not specific to Arvin or California. This is a nationwide phenomenon that we have to address.
No decision was made last night, but we'll keep you updated when one is.
17 News follow-up file now. We now know the name of the woman shot and killed by police officers in Delano over the weekend. The coroner's office says 32-year-old Delano resident Sandra Ortiz Barajas died in an officer-involved shooting. Delano police say they responded to reports of Barajas threatening an 8-year-old girl. When officers arrived, they say they heard the woman threatening the girl, and one officer opened fire through a window, hitting Barajas several times. Officers entered the home and performed CPR, but she died. The 8-year-old girl was taken to the hospital. Police have not yet clarified the relationship between Barajas and the girl.
We've also learned the name of the man shot and killed in North Bakersfield earlier this week. Bakersfield police were called to the area of Jewett Avenue and 35th Street Monday night. That's where officers found 45-year-old Eddie Raymond Bustamante, Sr., dead. If you have any information regarding this case, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. And by our count, this is Kern County's 105th homicide this year.
Now to a deadly crash involving a motorcyclist. According to the California Highway Patrol, the motorcyclist died after hitting a perimeter fence on the West Side Parkway. The motorcyclist was thrown from the bike. CHP says they suspect the crash happened overnight Monday and wasn't discovered until yesterday morning.
If any of the public saw anything during the nighttime where a motorcyclist went off the roadway or saw some kind of a dust or cloud in this general area, please contact the Bakersfield area CHP office for additional information.
CHP is handling the investigation, and if you know or saw anything, that number to call is 396-6600.
Last night, a fiery scene off Highway 178 after an RV caught fire. Take a look. And you just heard there those small explosions that could be heard coming from this RV that became engulfed in flames. It happened along westbound Highway 178 near Comanche Drive just before 8 o'clock last night. No word what started the fire, but 2 people inside the RV were able to escape.
Scams where criminals try to get you to pay them over the phone are nothing new, but now they're targeting local doctors. Bakersfield police say this is the first they've heard of medical professionals being targeted. One local doctor who was scammed says the caller gave her names and contacts that checked out to be with local law enforcement agencies. She says they threatened to put her in jail and go after her medical license for failing to show up to court on a subpoena where she was supposed to be an expert witness unless she paid a fine. Police say law enforcement will never ask for a payment over the phone.
It's amazing how many scams there are right now.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be on the lookout all the time. Your time now is 5:05. Bakersfield appears set to get 2 popular national chain restaurants. The empty lot on California Avenue next to the northbound 99 freeway on-ramp is the new designated home of Cracker Barrel. Dave & Buster's, a restaurant and video arcade, is coming to Valley Plaza Mall in a spot on Weibel Road, previously occupied by a tech school. Neither Cracker Barrel nor Dave & Buster's returned calls from 17 News, most likely because their architectural plans have not received final approval from the city of Bakersfield. But the city's planning department confirmed both restaurants submitted initial plans many months ago. Opening dates for the 2 restaurants aren't known.
I have to tell you, I'm very excited about Cracker Barrel.
I'm so excited too. I really can't wait.
Well, attention travelers, you will soon be able to catch a flight from Bakersfield to Reno, Nevada. The Board of Supervisors yesterday approved an agreement with ExpressJet Airlines for new air service out of Meadowsfield Airport. There will be 3 weekly flights to Reno from Bakersfield that will reportedly start soon. The airline will operate under the name AHA. More details are expected in the near future. So this is really exciting to see new flights coming to Bakersfield. We know we travel out of Bakersfield, Meadowsfield Airport, when we can. Let me just say, it is very nice to not have to go through LA. But what's neat about this flight going to Reno is not only is it just to Reno, but it could also expand to other areas. But I'm also thinking you can catch a flight and then just drive down from Reno to South Lake Tahoe. It's like about an hour drive or so. So that's not too bad.
Not at all.
Recapping our top stories on this Wednesday morning, Arvin Police Chief Eddie Brock went before the City Council last night to push for body cameras for his 15 patrol officers and supervisors. The cost, $325,000, payable over 5 years. No decision was made last night, and we'll keep you updated when one is made. Bakersfield appears set to get 2 popular national chain restaurants. The empty lot on California Avenue, right next to the northbound 99 freeway on-ramp, is the new designated home of Cracker Barrel. Dave & Buster's, a restaurant and video arcade, is coming to Valley Plaza Mall. Opening dates for the restaurants are still not known. You'll soon be able to catch a flight from Bakersfield to Reno, Nevada. The Board of Supervisors yesterday approved an agreement with ExpressJet Airlines for new air service out of Meadowsfield Airport. There will be 3 weekly flights to Reno that will reportedly begin soon.
And now to a special ceremony and a hero's farewell at a Bakersfield National Cemetery. 17's Christian Galeno has more on the honor fit for 20 unaccompanied veterans.
We have a saying that nobody is ever truly forgotten until their name is spoken for the last time.
For some veterans, no one speaks their name after they're gone.
Corporal Robert Galman, United States Marine Corps.
Others don't get a final farewell from those they loved.
The day that they're buried, they're unaccompanied, the day that they're interred or whatever. But they're part of the military family, they're part of our veterans family.
Every 3 months, the Bakersfield National Cemetery ensures that those that gave their life are remembered.
We're here to make sure they had the proper military honors in place of being able to do it that day that they were interred.
Following the pandemic, ceremonies are starting yet again.
It's been a long time, and it's nice to be back so that we can take care of the people that took care of us. To be included in that family is very honoring.
The emotions aren't always the same. And the biggest thing for me is how we leave the families.
It's also a way to ensure families that this sacrifice was not in vain.
It's expected. It's a way for us to honor them and make sure that their service is not forgotten. No matter what, just remember the sacrifices of those gentlemen and those women in the past that have given their ultimate.
For 17 News, I'm Christian Galeno.
Bakersfield Congressman and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy says despite setbacks, he continues to push for a new or updated community-based outpatient clinic for local veterans. The project was first set in motion by Congress and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs more than a decade ago. In 2016, the project almost got underway, but the approved land was needed by the California High-Speed Rail project, so it fell through. In 2018, the Veterans Affairs Office again promised another outpatient clinic, but the project has been struck in legal limbo. In a statement, McCarthy claims that that's because the VA did not follow proper procedures. The project stalled yet again, but things got back on track in April of this year. McCarthy says the project is still in the works, with completion expected toward the end of 2024.
Meantime, the American Red Cross of Kern County is teaming up with the California Veterans Assistance Foundation to host the 22nd annual Kern County Veterans Stand Down next month. It's happening Thursday, October 14th at Strambler Park on Chester Avenue. Organizers describe the stand down as a safe retreat for veterans, including our local homeless veterans, to receive support services. They're also asking for volunteers. For a link to register, just go to our website, kget.com, and click the hot link icon.
We have reached a significant milestone in the fight against COVID-19 here in Kern County. Half of eligible residents here in Kern are fully vaccinated, and nearly 60% of residents are at least partially vaccinated against the virus. And the data continues to show that a vast majority of people catching the virus right now during this third surge here in Kern County are unvaccinated.
Over the last 14 days, 98.33% of our cases were amongst those who are unvaccinated. Since January 21st, Kern County has had 45,077 cases, with 44,302, or 98.28%, being amongst those who are unvaccinated.
Kerrigan made it clear that the vast majority of cases are from those who have not received the vaccine. Although more than half of eligible residents have received a shot, nearly 60% of the overall population in Kern County has no protection. Public Health also announced 349 new cases and no new deaths yesterday. Since the beginning of the pandemic, 1,540 people have died due to the virus here in Kern. 265 people are in the hospital right now. Another 77 are in the ICU.
Lawmakers say one of the lessons learned during the pandemic was the beauty of outdoor dining, and they're hoping to keep the option available for restaurants for years ahead. Senator Scott Wiener and Assemblyman Jesse Gabriel yesterday urged Governor Newsom to sign the legislation. The proposal would continue to provide restaurants and bars the flexibility to use outdoor spaces to prepare food and serve customers. Lawmakers note the proposal has bipartisan support.
Is really just about reduce regulatory relief and getting rid of some of the regulatory burdens, the hoops that people had to jump through to try to be able to do this otherwise, so just to make it a lot easier.
The bills would extend outdoor dining and alcohol service either a year after the end of the state of emergency declaration or 2024, whichever comes first. Governor Newsom has until October 10th to sign or veto the proposal.
The Great Kern County Fair is set to reopen its gates later today. The fair was closed the past 2 days so crews could do a deep clean. Fair officials say closing down gives them time to clean areas that typically aren't able to be cleaned while everyone is at the fair. The gates will reopen today at 3 p.m.
And there's a special deal today for students from 9 a.m. to noon. Preschool through 6th grade students can get into the fair for free. Note that that is also before main operating hours, which start at 3 p.m. So it's a great time to bring the kids out without fierce competition for rides, games, and food vendors. Again, that is today from 9 a.m. until noon.
And if you also want to get in for free, you can Feed the Need. Today is Feed the Need Day. You can donate 5 or more non-expired canned food items, and you will receive 1 free ticket to the fair.
And kicking off this week's live shows tonight, Bakersfield's own Jim Ranger. Ranger rose to fame after being a finalist on season 19 of NBC's The Voice. And now you can catch him live for free with paid admission to the fair. That's tonight at 8 p.m. Plus, coming up on Sunrise, Jim Ranger will join us live and talk about his upcoming performance and, you know, what's been going on in his life since he was on The Voice. That's ahead this morning at 6:30.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.